Hey guys, I am on a trail right now, and this is a pretty public trail, so not really one to go foraging on just because lots of animals will come through here pretty frequently. They don't spray, but with animals and a lot of foot traffic, just probably one that would be better to avoid. You'd want to go deeper into trails if you're wanting to forage for food or medicine. But I did want to show you a few, because this trail is so open. It has a lot of sunlight, open as in like there's trees, but it's not as dense. So a lot of sunlight comes through, which means that a lot of the plants that you'll see along here are common yard plants too. It'll pop up in your yard. So I'm in the Florida Panhandle, so these start waking up pretty early just because of the temperature here. So in your area they might be just now starting to wake up or flower or whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to show you a few plants here that are both edible and medicinal. This is not going to be very in-depth just because I'm going to try to get through a few, but it'll be a good starting point. So the first one here is spiderwort. I'll get closer. And this is one, it's pretty easy to identify. It's got that purple bluish flower. And spiderwort is used very similarly to aloe. I'm going to break it here and see what I mean. Alright, that's focused now. So this little liquid here can be used similar to aloe, so helps soothe burns, bug bites, stings. You would just go and break that off and put that right on top. And it's going to have those same effects as aloe, those same soothing, healing effects. Also, it is edible. The entire plant is edible. So flowers, it looks really pretty in salads, or if you candy them as decorative. All of it is edible, but you do want to be careful with how much you consume of the liquidy part, the stem, because that can cause a laxative effect. Oh, also with spiderwort, it's sensitive to radiation. So if you ever see the flowers, the stem of this turn pink, then you probably want to leave the area because that means that there's radiation around. So another one is this one right here, which is referred to as Greenbrier. It's smilax. There you go. There's about, I think it's 9 or 12 species in Florida. Some of them have thorns, like this one. Some of them don't, but they all look pretty similar. They have like similar shaped leaves, different variations in green on the leaves. But with smilax, this is also referred to as wild asparagus. And a lot of people don't like this because they will overtake an area and the thorns get pretty big and hard. These are tender right now just because it's towards the tip, the young shoot. So this is an edible one. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for this young shoot right here, this tip. So you break it off just enough to where it breaks off easily like that. And that's the part that would be edible. And you can eat it raw. You can also saute it like asparagus. It's called wild asparagus also. It's not actually wild asparagus, but that's just another name that it's referred to because it has a similar taste. The roots were used to make root beer, a true root beer though, with parched corn and molasses. And then in the mist here, we've got popping up a few different types of dock. It's going to be these really big leaves right here. And there's some more over here. And when I'm saying dock, I'm saying the Rumex species. So there's yellow dock, curly dock. There's quite a few different types of dock. They can all be used pretty similarly. And they are edible. You usually want to get them when they're younger though, because this is going to be pretty tough. It would be better as like a pot herb. So not one you'd want to eat raw, better cooked down. And then let me pull this up, it's leaning over right now. But with dock, one of the really cool things is these seeds, they're not quite there yet. But once these seeds turn brown, you can take these seeds and use them to make flour, like a gluten-free type flour. So you would go and pull these all off. Just so I can, whew. No, that didn't work out too well. Anyway, let me just get close. But yeah, you would go and once they've turned brown, you'd go and take them all off, and it's pretty easy to take off when you rub your hands on them. These are not going to be because they're just not ripening. But you would take them off, let them dry, and then ground them into a flour. And Rumix is also burdock, or not, this is not burdock, this is dock. Dock is really good for soothing also, so like inflammation, pains, similar to like spiderwort or chickweed. So it's going to be really good for skin conditions as well. And this is one that I have actually infusing in a salve that I'm going to put like similar to our all-purpose salve. This will be one that has a few more things in it though, so a little bit more potent. All right, and then here we have American Beautyberry. This is one where you'll start seeing, the buds are starting to come in. There'll be a lot of berries that go around, and they have like a magenta color. People use them to make jams and jellies. You can eat them raw. I don't think they taste particularly good. Our kids eat them. I think it's just more like a fun thing because they know they can. But yeah, it has a strong floral taste to it, flavor. And I've noticed that depending on where it's located, like the ones in our backyard taste florally, whereas the ones like on our church property taste a little bit more sweet, but still has that hint of floral. Besides the edibility of the berries, the leaves work really well as a mosquito and like bug deterrent. So what we usually do is when our kids are out, because there's a ton of these grow in our backyard, is they'll take a leaf, and usually you want to rip it up a little bit, and it has a distinctive smell too. So once you find Beautyberry, smell it, and it's a giveaway smell. It's nothing else really to compare it to. But that strong odor is what's going to be deterring the bugs away, the mosquitoes. So they would go and rip it up, and then it's hard to do with one hand, but you would just rub this all over your arms and all over your body, and usually collect a few leaves. These are some pretty nice big leaves, so you can get a lot of coverage with a few. But yeah, that's all you would do, and it helps. It lasts quite a few hours, we've noticed, where the mosquitoes don't bother us. Another thing you could do is take the leaves and cut them up, or you can macerate them and put them into a jar and pour alcohol, vodka over them. Some people use I think it's called isopropyl alcohol, which is like that cleansing one. I've done it with vodka, like 80 proof vodka, and that's worked well for me. I've never tried the other way. And that makes it to where it lasts longer. You would do that and let it sit. Like you'd fill a jar with that, pour the alcohol over it, let it sit capped for about 4 weeks, and then you strain it, and now you have the spray, and it makes it just way easier. It lasts all year. So easy thing to take on the go too, especially if you're not going to be in a place that has Beautyberry. And it's, according to online, it's comparable to DEET, except that it's natural and it's not going to have these harmful effects. So that's Beautyberry. And here we have probably my favorite plant, Biden's alba, Spanish needles, also called beggar's tick, many different common names. This is the one that we have a tincture of on our website, and it's a really good, strong, natural antibiotic for things like strep, MRSA, those types that are bacteria resistant. Usually though, if you're going to make a tincture, you'd want it before it flowers, because all the energy is going to the leaves, and then when it flowers, that's where it all goes to. So you can still make a tincture out of this. It just won't be as strong, but you'll still have good medicine, good natural medicine. I'm gonna have a video of how to make that as well. This is Biden's alba. And there's others, there's Biden's plosa. Any in the Biden's family is gonna have very similar properties. As this ages, it's gonna have these little black, let me see if there's one coming there. Almost like little black needles. They're not actually like needles, they don't hurt. but that's what sticks to you, which is where it gets its name, the Spanish needles or beggar stick, so that'll get stuck all over your clothing. And then right beside the Spanish needles, we've got a ton of elderberry. And this is one that grows native to North America. It's the European cousin is, oh now I'm blanking, Sambucus nigra. This is Sambucus canadensis. So this grows really well. It's hardy. It's one of those that once you get it going, it'll just take off, and it grows super tall. Let me see if I can get closer. It's, oh, that tree's up there. But basically where this is, it's about 12, 15 feet high. So it gets really tall and it'll spread. You just need one of these as a cutting and it'll take root and take over. And once it's established, you don't have to keep up with it really. It'll just take care of itself. But with elderberry, this is one that's pretty well known. I wanted to show you it flowering because the whole plant can be used. It's just now starting to flower. Those will turn into bigger blooms. There's some over here too. An elder, so the elder plant, the berries are typically what's most commonly used, and you'll find syrups, and we have a kit for that too. It's good for colds, flus, sicknesses, but the rest of the plant can be used too. So the elder flowers, you can do a cordial out of. We've used it to make like pancake fritters, where we'll literally take the head. Once it's actually flowered, it'll get bigger, like about that big, and you just dip it in pancake batter and fry it up, and it tastes great. It has a nice sweet floral taste, not too strong. It's a distinctive taste. But also, beside that, the flowers and the leaves and stems and bark is a good medicine for pain relief. So it's one that would be better. You can infuse it also, which we have some infusing, but you can also do it in tincture form to get those same benefits as well. So it's going to be good for pain relief, whereas the berries are going to be better for sicknesses. Yeah, just a ton of elderberry. All this is elder. All right, and in here, amongst the Biden's alba, the Spanish needles, which are these right here, all these popping up right over here. This almost looks like a duck foot or something. This one right here is Maypop. It's like our version of passion flower. It gets that pretty, really pretty flower. Needs a few more weeks or months. But with Maypop, this is one that's used medicinally. The flower is edible, so you could stick that in a salad. It looks really pretty. But usually this one is more so used for the medicine. It's a vining plant, so you can see. So I can get a better. No, this is a short one. But this is going to be good for things like insomnia, nervous system, helping your body to relax. So this one is best used in like a tincture form, which we actually have one we'll be putting on our website soon. But you would take the leaves, and you can take some of the stem too. And you cut it up and just put it in a jar, fill it up, and pour 100 proof vodka over that. Coming back to the elder plant, I forgot to mention, with the elder flowers, if you do choose to use the elder flowers and eat them or make a tincture or tea, whatever you want to do with them, you won't get the berries. So it's one or the other. You either just let it keep going and then the flowers will turn into the berries, or you take them as is. So just something to consider as well. Usually when you have a lot like this, you're able to get some of the flowers and then come back and get berries because there's just so much. Here we have muscadine, which is in the grape family. A lot of the grapes have similar looking leaves, like that heart-shaped leaf. This one specifically is muscadine, and the grapes are starting to come in. They're just now starting to bud. Those can be eaten raw. Where I'm at, a lot of people will turn it into wine. But the leaves on grape leaves are really good for digestion, so you can make teas out of that to help soothe like stomach issues, stomach pains that you have going on, indigestion, things like that. Yeah, we have muscadine, but if you see leaves like that, probably a good sign that it's a type of grape. We also have summer grape here, and we have scuppernongs. They're all vining, just different sizes. Some are more distinctive with the shape of the leaf than others. All right, I came back to another Spanish needles, Spider's alba one again, because I remembered something else I wanted to mention about these. I had mentioned before that you can use them in, like the most potent form is going to be tincture. However, you could also do a smoothie out of it. So teas for this type of plant is not going to work as well, but if you were to do a smoothie, you would take the leaves, you can take flowers too, but really it's going to be the leaves that have the medicine in them. Take all the leaves and put in a smoothie and blend it up and drink it. So tincture and smoothie are going to be the fresh juice, basically, is going to be the strongest forms of it to get those medicinal properties. The teas or doing decoctions, things like that, are not going to work because the heat's going to destroy a lot of that. So this is not one where, like with mushrooms or lichen, fungi, a lot of those you would do the heat version, the decoction part, because all those other components can't be released without heat. A lot of times for most plants it's not going to be the case. Usually alcohol is going to be sufficient enough. So yeah, tincturing or juicing, it's going to be the best form to get it. You can also make an eye wash out of it. It's really good for pink eye or eye infections. You would do the same thing, you would juice it, but you want to make sure you strain it really well because there are little hairs on it, fine hairs that can cause irritation. But yeah, once you just some water and the leaves, juice it up, strain it well, you would just use that as eye wash. All right, I mentioned the muscadine grape. Here is a summer grape leaf. So as you can see, this is much bigger, but it still has almost like that similar heart shaped up here. So just another type of grape. And same thing, the leaves can be used to help with stomach issues, making a tea out of it. Some people have even done tinctures as well.